Hello, hello. I have not done a personal update in a while, and oh my gosh, do I have a good one for you. Okay, so I went to my annual checkup, which, by the way, in my past life, I would have avoided like the plague because I knew they would have told me that I needed to lose weight, that I was overweight, obese, and I wouldn't have gone. Thankfully, I lost the weight and I've been keeping it off for the last 10 years because as I age, there's more chance of there being things that need tweaking or improving or health concerns. So in my younger years, yes, I skipped going to the doctor a lot, but thankfully, if there was a time in my life to do it, it probably was the best one. So I go to my doctor. She's been with me since the beginning, which is awesome. And she was thrilled I kept the weight off for yet another year. And so the things that she brought up today, or in my meeting with her, it's super important because there's a lot of things I talk about here. And I love it when I get to do the things I tell you would be helpful for you to do. I am not someone who tells you to do things I myself do not have to do. I don't believe in that. As a matter of fact, that's one of the whole reasons I started this journey, is because I wanted my kids not to see me as being a hypocrite, not telling them, eat your vegetables, and I'm not eating my vegetables, right? Like I had to make changes. So she basically said, congrats on maintaining the weight loss. Great job on that. However, my LDL cholesterol, my bad cholesterol, had gone up about 38 points and put me over 100. So apparently 100 is the marker that they would not prefer for us to be over. My high cholesterol is always super high. It's supposed to be, I think, 40 or 60, and mine's almost 100. It's crazy. So that comes from a lot of exercise, and I do tend to eat very healthfully. However, her and I did some preliminary research before I went because I got my blood results before I saw her. And what it turned out is I did some research because not a whole lot's changed for me, right, from my appointment a year ago. But what I did notice was many women who are in perimenopause and or menopause are having decreased levels of estrogen, which greatly affect your cholesterol numbers. And I am somewhere in there for sure, because basically I think when I was around 40 to 42, my doctor said I was in perimenopause. So no doubt my estrogen is definitely changing. So I looked into what would be helpful. 1, highly reducing saturated fats. 2, reducing trans fats. 3, getting in more healthful fats like olive oil, fatty fish, and avocados, things of that nature. Now, here's where the lessons come in. In my past, I would have felt really pissy that something else, quote unquote, was wrong, that I had to make adjustments, that I had to make changes. I would have felt very frustrated because I would have been like, I lost all this weight. I did all this work. I've already gotten rid of eating out pizza 3 times a week and cutting out ice cream from my diet the majority of the time. And I made all these changes. Why now do I have to do something else? But because of all the mindset work I've done for myself personally, I was like, okay, so this is where we are, fact. And what is it that I can do to start to improve? So I look it up, I do some research, and I remind myself the same thing I tell you. I don't have to do any of this. Like, I can keep eating the way I'm eating. I can keep doing all the things I'm doing. I do not have to make a single change. It's my body. I am fine to do it either way. So when I saw my doctor, though, this was important. When I told her about all the research I had done, being self-aware, she goes, I love seeing you. She says, not only did you lose weight and you're keeping it off, she says, but you make your health a priority. She says, I sit in here day in and day out telling people, this is high, you need to do this, this would be beneficial for you to do. She says, and people don't respond. She's like, they don't do anything. She says, they don't even seem like it's important or priority. She says, and as a doctor, I'm here fighting for them, and they're not fighting for themselves. She says, but somebody like you comes in and you're educated, you know what needs to be done and you're actually willing to do it, she says it puts a fire in me because now I want to fight harder for you. And as a coach myself, that sometimes I can feel that way. I know her struggle. You want people to take action in their life. That's what you want. And when she told me that, it made me even want to do it more because I get it. She's there fighting for me. I'm fighting for me. And I give her a sense of purpose in that moment to really take it seriously, right? So anyway, after having that moment, I decided I really wanted to make some changes. Not begrudgingly, but willingly. Notice how I always said I was willing to track my food for the rest of my life. I didn't feel I had to. As a matter of fact, there's been a huge space of time where I haven't tracked calories. Although I'm super grateful right now that I have a delightful MyFitnessPal log to go back through because it is a wealth of information. So here's some of the things I'm doing. One, I switched up my MyFitnessPal. I put saturated fats on there, which I never did before. So now I'm actually watching my saturated fats probably more than anything outside of protein. And what I had found was on average, I think MyFitnessPal had me set at like 23 grams of saturated fat based on my calorie intake. I'm trying to aim for 13 grams per day or less of saturated fat. That's one positive change I'm making. I switched out a lot of my oils. I'm focusing on olive oils, avocados, nuts, things like that. Had fatty fish a few times a week to help bring in good fat sources for myself. So that's number one change. My doctor, super cool, scheduled me a 6-month appointment to get my blood rechecked to see where I'm moving, if I'm moving in the right direction with these changes. Now, the reason I share all this is mindset. I get news, oh my gosh, more work to do. No, what do I tell you guys all the time? Body changes, you don't get a say. Heather doesn't get a say that her estrogen isn't showing up and that her liver is overloaded and that she has higher LDL numbers than what her doctor would like. I don't get a say in that. I do, however, get a choice on how I respond to it, right? So I am choosing to make some dietary changes, becoming more aware of the foods that I buy and have that have high saturated fat intake. Number two, I actually am enjoying the process. Mind blown. I feel kind of like a kid going back to school. I never look really at saturated fats, quite honestly. I've never had to. My numbers have always been really good. So I am now actually investigating packages and checking things out. And I don't feel like it's a burden because it's just kind of fun learning, checking things out. My whole attitude and demeanor about it is different because I've worked on my mindset. Remember, I tell you, if your mind is not in the right place, nothing's going to happen. You've got to have your mind in the right place. Hence, all the Thinking Lead to Eating videos on my playlist. If you haven't checked those out, you may want to check those out. I didn't see this as a bad problem. It was just, okay, I got to make some adjustments. And I'm willing to do it. And this is the big part, right? Willingness, acceptance, not making it dramatic, not making it a problem has been huge. So all of these factors that I talk about here, I do them myself. I'm not exempt. Yeah, I've been maintaining my weight loss for 10 years, so my body's still going to break down over time. Age happens to all of us. And the sooner you can realize this journey does not end, your body will change with or without your consent. You're going to have to modify things over time. Then you kind of get to relax into it and enjoy it, as opposed to another thing. Why me? I used to be that person. I totally get it. I used to feel like it was just one more thing on my checkoff list. Now I get that there's going to be another thing. Like, this is the thing today. There'll be a different thing in 6 months, a year, 2 years, who knows, a decade. And I've got a choice in the mix, what I choose to do. Anyway, I will definitely keep you guys up to date when I find out more. But I wanted to give you this because, one, I think it really well highlights that concept I tell you about. Your body's changing constantly, so thus you have to change. And B, it's all in your head, how you choose to think about it. The way you choose to perceive the situation is your reality. It can either be a fun, exciting, investigative, wow, what is this and how do I do this? And, can I make things better? And how can I enjoy the foods that are good for me versus, oh my God, I have to get rid of this. For instance, Klondike bars, sugar-free Klondike bars. I like them on occasion. 8 grams of saturated fat. I've been avoiding them because they're a huge portion of my daily saturated fat intake. So I am letting go of things, but then I find other things that, oh, okay, this yogurt bowl with some almonds has 0 grams of saturated fat. So I'll just have that more often. It's just that learning what I can have that makes my progress capable of what I'm trying to do here. And I try not to get all bent out of shape about what I can't have or what I'm trying to avoid, or definitely not having as frequently. So I hope this message resonates. I hope it helps as you progress, your body changes, and men too. I mean, men's cholesterol greatly is affected by hormone changes as they age, just differently than women. So, I mean, this is true for all of us, right? We have different conditions that can creep up as we are aging based on our body's change. So just keeping in mind, definitely go see your doctor. Definitely get your blood work done. Even if you still have weight to lose, and I know it's not comfortable, be proactive, advocate for yourself, but get that stuff done so you can know if there's anything that's going on below the surface that could be adjusted or tweaked. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, share the videos, and I will talk to you soon.